again, in this video we're gonna be going over how you can model the terrain itself. Now for this type of space station is actually needed because the terrain is by default flat. As you can see here, there is a curvature on the module itself here, and it is needed for a space station this size. Now if you do make a space station that's a lot bigger, you may be able to just use a flat terrain, because it should not be an issue if it's that big. But for this station we are gonna be needing it. Now we're going to new station folder I've created earlier here and create a new subfolder. I'm just going to be calling it zones and going there and just create a new level here. Now you're basically just going to be creating one level, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be rotating and duplicating and rotating this level all around. So the first thing we're going to do is going to here to zones, and I'm just going to name mine A01 for zone 01. And we are basically going to take everything you see in here and delete it, because it is not needed. Go up to unlit. Now the reason is that it's not needed is because we are using world composition, and all the lights, main lights, will be handled in the main level itself. Just save this one here. Now we're going to be dragging in our floor mesh here, putting it to 0, 0, 0. So basically we know which way the boundary is going to be here. Now next up we are going to do is going to terrain and create a new terrain here. Just push a bit down here, and you'll see this is way too big. So you can put in whatever number of components and stuff you want in here. For me, I'm just going to make a symbol here, as simple as possible. So there's this there and there. Seems about right. Now you will notice that some of the terrain actually exits the edge of the station here. That is not a problem, because they will basically be working as to join up with the other terrain which is going to be added on the next one here. That one goes into the walls. Now we're just going to align it here with the bottom and create. Add the weight map if you use those, and there we go. Now what you will just quickly notice here is that you can actually rotate the terrain here if you want to. Now I'm rotating mine in by 30 degrees because I need 12 sections, and 360 degrees by 12 is 30. As you notice here, as I rotate the terrain itself, just gonna try and make it a bit different here. The texture itself is actually getting a bit messed up, so we need to fix that. And in the Projectify material itself, it is actually handled by this setup here. Basically param transform to vector and into world vector v3. I'm just gonna save. And there we go. Now we'll recompile the shaders there. And now when you rotate it, oh look, it keeps the grass. Excellent, just the way we need it. We enable snap here, and we're going to move it down here again. Now what you want to do is ensure that it is just above the mesh itself. Now you can make it as much as you want to. I'm just going to do this simply because this part here is a rather time-consuming process. Basically what you're going to be doing is, you can see here, this is a step, and then you're going to do another step and another step in the, like you model the terrain in the form of a ladder. So to sculpt, and I'm going to go all the way to the side here. And we just gonna keep doing that all the way up here. Now what I usually do up here is basically just switch from the sculpt tool to the flatten tool and reduce the size here a bit, and just paint it like this all the way over. Now this is usually not an issue because we'll be smoothing it out afterwards. Just increase the size a bit more here. And the top itself here. Now this is where basically you need to align the full length here as well. Doing the sides here. And this is where we switch over to the smooth tool. See, that way it will basically smooth itself out so we don't have all these sharp steps here. But this can be a bit time consuming because if you want to get it as perfect as possible if you want. But you can actually just do a very rough version because you're most likely going to be editing this terrain at a later date in case you want to add some more variation. And as you can see here, it actually begins to curve along the edge here. And you're basically just going to be doing this on the other side as well. So I'm just going to be pausing here and cheat a bit. And whoopsie, there we go. Now as you can see here, the entire terrain here is now basically aligned with the rotation level here itself. And what we're going to be doing now is basically just duplicate the terrain and rotate it. So we will go into the zones level here, copy and paste. You can use Ctrl-C or Ctrl-V, or basically just right click and select duplicate. Like this. And also automatically get the name A02. Now we are in A02. I'm going to select this station mesh here, rotate it 30 degrees, or however many degrees is that you need. And we are going to do the same with the terrain. And now you're going to try to line it the best you can here with the station itself here. Should be good enough for our purposes here. And you're going to duplicate A1 again. Just name it A0112 because we are going to be rotating this the other way. go into the main level here, and you will now see that A were 0, 1, 0, 2, and 1, 2 are now there. So let's look them up, see how it looks. And here we go. Like A01 is the flat one here, A02 is there, and A12 is there. Right click, click play from here. And this is where the tricky part comes in, because there's going to be, as you can see here, there's a few little criminals here, or runners, or errors. Like this can be due to the way that the terrain itself has been aligned. You can see here A02 has to be lowered a bit. And the same also applies over here for A12, which also needs to be raised a bit. So we're just gonna try and fix those right now. Too much there. See how that looks. Stay a little bit rough here. Same here. Now what you do is basically just go in with your smooth tool here. And you can basically just quickly smooth it out here to make it a bit more consistent, or flat, or aligned. Now you can do this as detailed as you want. You know, you could also just, you know, fix layer 1 here. Say if you see this part here, there's actually this part over here on layer 1, so you could actually fix this on layer 1, then just duplicate it and rotate it all the way around. And let's see how it looks. Already much better. You'll probably see the frame rate on top right here will fall a lot. And that is something that is to be expected, because this is not really the way that the game engine has been designed to work, but it does work, kinda. Now basically this is just a process that you repeat all the way around here. It's like A1, A2, A3, A4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there is a, if you want to increase the number of cells, if you increase the size of the cylinder itself, that will also work. For now I'm just using 12. Now for the next video I'm going to be showing you how you can get the foliage to work here. So we'll be right back.